I just hit 50% of my profit target on day one in one trade on my new Top Step evaluation. A year ago, this honestly would have taken me 2 to 3 weeks and a hell of a lot more stress to do. Go ahead and watch the full session. It's about 12 minutes, and everything that you need to replicate a trade like this is given away for free in my Discord. It's free. I just set it up. So come in there, ask me questions, and enjoy this video. Okay, so I'm potentially looking for a short position here. So we've got this low volume node in the overnight session, kind of this extreme here at 7 a.m. And you can also see it over here on the session range down on the book map. So I probably would just be looking like for rejection, so I want to see us come in there, see some absorption, right? See some failed buying, and then like watch the sellers initiate a leg lower. And then I would probably look for like some micro low volume node entry. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, I think. So this will be the cluster that we'll really see. This has got a huge positive delta. But I get this at like 62.5. It's probably fine. Okay, a lot of orders stacking up here. What the fuck's all this? Okay, so this is really what I would be interested in on this, right up here, this area. But I don't think I want to be the first seller because this thing could continue to rally, right? But I also don't want to get a shitty fill. But all these positive deltas is really like this last defense here, the 65s. And then it's pretty low volume, so we're going to have to just see. Here's some large sellers that are stepping in. POC shifted too, that's interesting. That means that we're finding value higher. So it might not be great context for the short. So I would want to see, really I'm not seeing much that's telling me this thing wants to go down. I mean, we're struggling to conduct business up here as of now. We're going to see right here on this book map if we can start moving higher through it. But there's no like defense. Nobody is trying to defend this thing. There's no sellers. Passive selling, really loading in strong here. Okay, it looks like we're going to start trying to pop up into this thing some more here. Right, we're looking at this. I'm looking at this cluster to see if we can get a delta divergence here on this 28 range bar cluster. And then I'm also just kind of seeing if any large sellers are going to step in for this short. So far, none, but would have been a great opportunity to take this thing along down here into these tests of this overnight low volume node plus the view up. But at the time, I think we were still, I think the POC was still like here. I think this was the previous POC before the open. Okay, so we've got a battle really going on here. It's a really small delta, almost a break-even delta in this cluster. And as far as the delta profile, not a whole lot of action, nothing big popping up. Okay, we've got this tape speeding up. Tape is speeding up. Okay, here's a large seller. Here's a lot of large sellers here. Let's see if this holds. At these 63.75s, there's a big seller stepping in. I could be interested in this thing short here. One more pop up into this. Okay, here we go. Here's some more popping up coming in. Looking at the book map. Okay, here it is. Getting absorbed. Very large positive delta on this. I mean, not very large, but large positive delta on this cluster. But these buyers, they've got no quit, man. I mean, like I said, there's a few things telling me that this is probably not going to be the best deal. What I don't like is that the POC shifted higher, which means we're finding value higher, right? Okay, so I think this idea is kind of scrubbed. I mean, really, look, we're just claiming so much value higher, so not really much to do with this. Large amount of volume is being conducted up here, though. So if this cluster that we're on now closes red but maintains its positive delta, that's like a huge red flag for these buyers. So I really think can't buy this thing because we are above the POC, and that is bad risk to reward. So I wouldn't really continue to try to join these buyers in momentum. It's just not my trading style, right? I will only short above the POC, and I will only long below the POC, right? In areas of premium and discount. So I will only short the premium price, and I will only buy the discounted price. And right now it is an extremely premium price. We are breaking the highs on the session, so it's just not for me. Now we got something that we're testing here from previous day. This previous day low volume node and this kind of volume spike. These failed buying efforts from yesterday at the 70.25. So I wonder if that could also be potentially something. Because we're also getting a lot of buying efforts around the same area too. These just like 70s in general, 69s and 70s. Okay, so this is interesting, right? This cluster is turning red, but it still has almost the same size delta as the previous candle, I mean, previous cluster. It's a decent positive delta. And so these sellers are starting to step in here. We might be failing this volume, low volume node here. Might be failing these highs. So if we really fail to like take the high again, then that could be interesting. Especially like right here, if we fail to take these 71s again. But if some big aggressive selling starts coming in here, then that would be interesting for a short. Okay, I'm gonna try this thing short here. I do a 5-point stop, 10-point take profit, 1 to 2 risk to reward. Holy fuck. Sorry. That was awesome. That thing just aggressively popped down. We're gonna box here. Yeah, so really it's like that thesis of previous, you know, even that previous buying efforts up there. That was a huge order. Over 1,000 contracts hitting the tape. 1,018, I think. So we're going to see if we can maintain this and get a move lower. See if this tape starts to slow down a little bit. Okay, so we could just be testing this micro low volume node that we created on that drop. But price is getting a little bit higher than what I would expect it to be. So we just need to see another leg down, break even. Man, that thing's freaking spiked hard. Wow. Yeah, so here's where we would need to see another leg down, but honestly, I'm getting a little concerned. Okay, so my stops are going to be at the 70 and a quarter. It's not above the high, is it? No, but almost. We really just need to see some aggressive selling step in here, like right here. This is where we need to start coming in, hopefully, and get through this, right? We need to see price pass through this, but we're really just going to be patient. We're going to leave our stop where it is, and we're going to kind of see what happens. Because we've got some, okay, here we go. This looks a little bit better. Okay, there's a little bit more aggressive selling coming in here. So we just need to take those lows. I think all that we would be looking for is the 55s, right? So coming down here to these resting orders. I feel that if this thesis can play out, those 55s is very realistic, especially since we've got some orders sitting down there, something worth, you know, could be worth time, but maybe not. What does worry me is all of these orders sitting up above our heads. But we're not going to move our stop early. We're just going to let it. What is our stop? It just stops at 70 and a quarter. So really, like, if we went for this, we'd be cooked. So what we need to see is this thing needs to keep it moving below this low volume node right here on the book map. And as far as any opportunities to reduce my risk or protect myself, only thing I could really think of is like cutting this thing early, but I'm really kind of lately been trying to practice letting these things work out and just, you know, letting the stop be a stop and not intervening, you know, because it's important to look for opportunities to reduce risk. But you also, you know, there's been too many occasions lately where I have interrupted the trade and I got stopped at break even and it ended up playing out, and it would have worked if I would have just, you know, sat on my hands, I think. So this is not bad, you know, like I'd like to see a more aggressive push down. It's kind of a slow grind, which is kind of weird, but we'd be looking for the 55. So a little attempt under the POC, which on the bookmap sense is really, you know, not bad looking for this right here, but in the volume profile sense, it's kind of a weird area. And the buyers are just kind of slow grinding. I mean, we're building a lot of negative delta here, which is weird too. So I'm going to be kind of weary of that. I think it's kind of weird. I think because actually that's a really weird thing, this big delta building right there, showing me there's a lot of selling happening, but it's not really getting rewarded. I think I'm going to reduce my risk to 2.5. Because like you see, this is building, but it's being unrewarded. We have claimed below this micro low volume node on the book map here, which is something, I guess. If we could get below this delta, I'll feel a hell of a lot better. But for now, we're just kind of hanging out here, seeming incapable of breaking these 61s. And all we need is a push to these 55s. Oh, okay. So here's an attempt lower. This thing is moving really slow. We've got this big low volume node here that's kind of has ended up forming over the last 10, 20 minutes or so. So I think there's a chance that this thing might not want to go lower, to be honest. So I might actually look for an opportunity to reduce my risk while we get closer here. I mean, I don't want to know if this thing's going to come all the way back up and all the way back down. I think I wanted it to happen. If it's going to happen, I want it to happen now. So I am going to go ahead and move stop to break even. So if it's going to happen, I wanted it to happen now, not later. You know, I don't want to have to sit through a whole other retest. I want this thing to be quick and easy. So this thing would need to push now instead of, you know, puddling around this area for another couple minutes or pulling back. Like, I don't want any of that. I want to see these 55 orders have been pulled, which is also concerning. But stop is at break even, so that's great. That means nothing bad has happened, which is cool. This is also like a B setup, not an A plus setup. Okay, so really we just need, like, we're kind of thinking about it here, and this is like what I would be kind of concerned or weary about, is just kind of making it through here, but we are making our way down. Right, looking for 55 and a quarter. That's going to be these 55s with the 900 delta right here on the book map. See, like, this is what I'm worried about right here, that this little section and going up against the POC, right? Can we get a push through? Okay, that's something. See if we can get a couple ticks lower.
Order filled.
There we go. We got that. Hell yeah. Okay, super sick. I'm glad that this thing was, you guys got to see that. And so the reasoning really was like this, just failing the high, right? Shorting above the POC, so shorting at premium value, right? And then shorting above the value area high, which is even a bigger deal. We've got this previous day low volume node plus this failed buying efforts, right? You get these positive buying deltas here, you get the volume spike here, and then we also had it kind of building at the same time here and the positive deltas here, and really up here as well, right? We had all this, you know, these aggressive buying really trying to get up here, and then we had a large aggressive seller step in, but I had shorted up here. So, and we're in top step jail, but that is 1500. So that is half of what we need. So, you know, this is a literally brand new open at yesterday. So not a bad way to go about it in getting back into the funded state and getting back to the paid and payout state. So not a bad deal. Pretty sweet. All right, cool. That's it.